Multiplication of surds. When two or more surds are multiplied together, they should first be simplified if possible. Then multiply whole numbers with whole numbers and surds with surds. Solution. E root 27 times root 50. Alright, so according to what we have here, for multiplication of surds, the rule is that where it's possible, we need to simplify the surd to its basic form, or to the simplest form possible, and then we multiply whole number by whole number and surds by surds. So this will give us 9 times 3 times root 25 times 2, and then this will give us root 9 times root 3 times root 5 times root 2, root 25 times root 7. Root 9 is equal to 3 times root 3 times 5 times root 2. This gives us 3 root 3 times 5 root 2. This is what this statement is. It says when two or more surds are multiplied together, they should first be simplified. So this is what we got from simplifying this surd. Now the next thing is to multiply whole numbers with whole numbers. So 3 is going to multiply 5, and then surd will multiply surd. Remember that for multiplication rule of surd, root A times root B is equal to root A times B. So don't forget this. This will give us 3 times 5 times root 3 times 2. And that will give us 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6. That's the final answer, 15 root 6. B. Root 12 times 3 root 60 times root 45. Now, just as this, what we have here says, when two or more surds are multiplied together, they should first be simplified. So first thing we need to do is to simplify this surd. Once we have simplified, then multiply whole numbers with whole numbers and surds with surds. But if any of the surd is such that you cannot simplify it, then you can multiply it right away, because it says if they should first be simplified if possible. It's only when it's possible you can simplify, but if it's not possible, you wouldn't be able to simplify. Like this D here, root 15, there's no way you can simplify root 15. So there are cases where you might not be able to simplify a particular surd, but if it's possible, ensure that you simplify before you proceed with multiplication. So let's go. I think these ones are, we can simplify them. So this will give us root 12, give us root 4 times 3 times 3. For 60, I think 60 is 30 times 2 to give us 60. And then 4 times 15 give us 60. 60 times 1 also give us 60. Out of which only this one has a perfect square, which is 4. So I'm going with that. So 4 times 15, root 4 times 15 times root 9 times 5. So if you observe, you'll see that each of the factors I picked for the surds, one of the factors is a perfect square. This is 4, 4, 9. 9, 4 are perfect squares. So that's the rule. And I emphasized on this rule in the first lesson, the first and the second lesson. So please take note of that. So let's go. So the root 4 times root 3 times 3 times root 4 times root 15 times root 9 times root 5. So root 4 is 2 times root 3 times 3 times root Root 4 is still 2 again, times root 15 times root 9 is 3 times root 5. Now 2 times 3 is equal to 2. So 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3 times 3 times 2 is 6. That will give us 6 root 15. And 3 times 5 is equal to 3 times root 5 is 3 root 5. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36 roots. Remember, the rule for multiplication for the source, root a times root b is equal to root a times b. So from what we have here, it says if it's possible for the source to be simplified, do that first, then multiply whole numbers with whole numbers and source with source. So 36 was gotten from multiplying whole numbers by whole numbers. Now we need to multiply source by source. So 3 times 15 times 5. So that will give us 36 roots. Okay, 3 times 15 will give us 45. So what would 45 times 5 give us? Let's find out. 45 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2 is 22. That's 225. 225 is a perfect square, so I'm going to say but 2 root 225, since the perfect square, is equal to 15. So therefore 36 root 225 is equal to 36 times 15. That will give you, so what's 36 times 15? 36 times 15 is equal to 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 3, 15 plus 3, 18. 1 times 6, 6. 1 times 3, 4. That's 0. 8 times 6, 8 plus 6 rather 14. 1 plus 4, 5 plus 1. Oh, 1 times 6, 18. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So here's not 4. It's 3. So 0, 8 plus 6, 14. 1 plus 3, 4 plus 1, 5. So the answer is 5, 40. 5, 40. So that's the answer. C. 2 root 5 squared. So don't forget that whenever we have square, let's say a goes to the power of 2, it means a times a. So apply the same here and give us 2 root 5 times 2 root 5. And remember the rule for multiplication of surds: whole number multiplies whole number, surd multiplies surd. So 2 times 2, that will give us 2 times 2 is 4, and then surd 5 times 5, 5 times 5, 4 root 5 times 5 is 25, but root 25 is equal to 5, so 4 root 25 is equal to 4 times 5, which is equal to 20. D. Root 15. Root 15 times root 12. So this was the instance I was citing when I was carrying out the multiplication on example B. The statement here says that when two or more surds are multiplied together, they should first be simplified if possible. So the condition is if it is possible for simplification to be done on the surd, but not in all cases, as you're going to find out here. So now we have root 15. Root 15 is not a perfect square, so we can't simplify root 15. We can't get factors of 15 where one of them is a perfect square, because 15 itself is not a perfect square. Of course, you know that the factors of 15 are 15 times 1 is equal to 15, and 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Neither 5 nor 3 is a perfect square, so there's no way we can reduce this, so we can leave it like that. So this is equal to root 15 times, and here we can 4 times 3. So this is equal to root 15 times root 4 times root 3. And this gives us root 15 times root 4 is 2 times root 3. And now that will give us root 15 times 2 root 3. Remember, since this part there's nothing here, that means it's 1, so that's 1 root 15, but in mathematics we usually write the 1. So we are going to apply the rule here. Let whole number multiply whole number and surd multiply surd. So 1 times 2 will give us 2, and then 15 times 3, this will give us 2 root 45. 2 root 45, we might stop here, we may decide to stop here, but we can still reduce to 45 to the simplest form. So we're going to say but, let me use here, say but root 45 is equal to 9 times 5. So this will give us, therefore, 2 root 45 is equal to 2 times root 9 times 5. Okay, and then this will give us equal to 2 times root 9 times root 5 times root 9 times root 5. And that will give us 2 times root 9 is 2 times root 5, and 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times root 5 is equal to root 5. So the final answer is 6 root 5. So always ensure that you simplify your answers to the basic form or the simplest form that is possible for you to get to when carrying out whether multiplication or addition or division on that surd or group of surds. Okay, so now let's look at pairing up surds. It is sometimes possible to pair up surds to give a simpler result. So sometimes when we are given a surd expression to simplify, and we need to simplify it to the basic form possible, it would sometimes be difficult to do that effectively. However, if we pair up surds together, we discover that the simplification process becomes way easier than if we didn't pair up. So let's look at these examples. Solution A, so root 2 times root 3 times root 5 times root 12 times root 45 times root 50. Remember that from our surd rule, that's root A times root B is equal to root A times B. So this will equal to 2 times 3 times 5 times 12 times 45 times 50. So this is what we do when we pair up surds. We're going to pair two surds together such that we get a value that is a perfect square. So for instance, 3 times 5, I pair 3 times 5 together, I'm going to get 15. But 15 is not a perfect square, so I don't want that. If I pair 2 and 2 times 50, I'm going to have 100. 100 is a perfect square, so I'm going to have 2. So I'm going to 2 times 50, still under the square root sign. So I've gotten 1, left with 1. 3 times 12 will give me 36. So 36 is a perfect square. 3 times 12 give me 36. So the next one is 5 and 45. So 5 times 45. Okay, so now this will give me 2 times 50 is 100 times 3 times 12 is 36 times 5 times 45. That will give me 225. Let's confirm. 5 times 45. 45 times 5. 5 times 5 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2. That's 22. So it's giving me 225. Now, remember that from here, which is what we have here, we can get this back. So this is equal to root 100 times root 36 times root 225. So root 100 is 10 times root 36 is 6 times root 25 is 15. And that will give me 10 times 6 is 60. 60 times 15. 900 is our answer. So B, root 3 times root 6. So 6 is not a perfect square, 3 is not a perfect square. And even if we simplify 6, we cannot get a perfect square out of the two factors of 6. So what do? We pair them up. So this will give us root 3 times 6. And what do we have? Root 3 times 6 will give me root 18. Now root 18 is equal to root 9 times 2. And root 9 times 2 is equal to root 9 times root 2. And this is equal to root 9 is equal to 3 times root 2, which is equal to 3 root 2. Final answer, 3 root 2. Or alternatively, we can solve this. So we say root 3 times root 6 is equal to root 3 times root 2 times 3. These are the factors of 6. So root 3 times root 2 times root 3. Oh, okay, so equals root 3 times root 3, write it, times root 2. So root 3 times root 3 will give me root 9, and square root of 9 is 3. Now we use 3 times root 2, which is also equal to 3 root 2. Same thing as what I have here.